Hello and welcome to some more Star Citizen. Star Citizen Alpha 4.0 is coming, and we've had some major updates from CIG about factions, gameplay area, missions, settlements, loads of stuff that you can get involved with there from the more social, non-combat side. And inside Star Citizen Alpha 4.0 social behaviour, they talked about a load of stuff. Alpha 4.0, Pyro's coming in that patch. It brings a ton of new planets, settlements, locations, NPCs, and mission types, among other stuff. Pyro is a dangerous star system, often flooding the system with radiation bursts from the sun there. The planets and people that live there have all had to deal with this differently based on their distance from the sun. Pyro's landing zones are a lot less secure, they're more open, more dangerous. And there isn't cities, just a load of small and medium settlements sort of everywhere, with each outpost having their own identity. There are various factions that own some of these based on your rep with them and what missions you are on. You'll be able to visit some of these, restock or attack them, stuff like that. The settlements will be hubs of mission activities, but you'll also be able to stay and do a lot of smaller FPS missions. You'll be able to purchase stuff. It depends on the type of settlement. There are a variety of settlements that CIG showed off in Pyro. Farmsteads. These grow harvestables and food. You can go there. You can take some crops. There are small communities living there, greenhouses and missions to do. But if you want food and water and stuff like that, that's a good place to go. The more lawless and anarchic sort of farmsteads have narcotic and grub farms going on there too. These will often be in large flat areas, these farmsteads, because you've got fields, you've got greenhouses, they need an area to sort of grow in. Some of these crops are only grown in Pyro and as such have value in other systems like Stanton, or maybe they're contraband in Stanton, so they'd still have value, but you'd have to get them past customs or certain areas because there's lots of different jurisdictions in the Stanton system. Some of the missions, you might be repairing machinery around a farmstead. You might be gathering crops. There's going to be lots of non-combat opportunities. Scrapyards. These are another type of settlement. You can service your ship here, rearm, repair, refuel. They're going to be one of a few places you can do that in Pyro. Obviously, there's some of the stations, but you can actually land pretty much any size ship that will fit at a scrapyard. They're sort of like derelict bits of ships around here. There are salvage opportunities. Big landing pits are here as well for your ship to land and get serviced. There's no ATC at any of these landing zones and outpost settlements. It's kind of land, get serviced, do your stuff, and then go. There are some shops at scrapyards. Missions might have you repairing various systems around the yard. You'll be able to replace damaged components. This all runs on the same circuitry and resource network as ships and engineering. There are going to be FPS salvage missions at that location as well that you can just do with hand tools. They also showed off trading posts. You'll be able to buy a large range of items, equipment, food, supplies, and it's also going to be the place where you buy and sell commodities. Different outposts might be run by different factions and have different goods, prices, wants. Cargo and delivery missions are very much something that you'll be able to get at trade posts. Now, factions are a big part of the Pyro experience. There is no law or jurisdiction in Pyro other than directly outside, directly by the jump point. So reputation is going to affect how NPCs interact with you. Do they shoot you on sight? Which of these outposts are friendly with you or not? At 4.0's launch, there are primarily two factions that will dominate much of Pyro's planet side. If you ally yourself with Citizens for Prosperity, you'll have access to certain outposts. Canard View is one such outpost on Pyro 6. It's very cold. It's inhospitable on Pyro 6. It's quite far away from the sun, but it's kind of relatively safe. It's sort of left alone by the other factions. You've got Jackson's Swap as well. That's another outpost. Wild Westy feeling, reasonably well defended. Habs here are makeshift but homely. They said they were trying to push the homesteading vibe, and I believe that a lot of the assets that they've used for these sort of outposts will be used for player homesteads that CIG recently teased, but we'll find out more about homesteads and that sort of stuff later at CitizenCon later this year. They also sort of mentioned here that you can land massive ships here and that sort of stuff. Now, I'm not sure if that's just going to be at all sort of landing zones, all of these settlements, you'll be able to land your big ships, or if some are going to be quite restrictive or not. It might be quite hard to get some of your ships out of atmosphere, or it might be quite vulnerable if you land a large ship. Headhunters, they're another faction. You can ally with them and you'll get access to Gonor's Steel or Gonor's Deal. I think it's Gonor's Deal. So this is a small outlaw trade post in a massive crater on Pyro 4. It's a natural stopgap between Pyro 3 and Pyro 6. It's worth mentioning that Pyro 5, that's a gas giant, and the Pyro system is much, much bigger, and there are greater distances between the planets than in the Stanton system. So sort of bear that in mind. Lots more fuel is going to be being used here, and you'll need to stop off more often. There's also Golden Riviera that's run by the Headhunters. This is like a sleazy town full of sleazy people. They sell slave pods, illegal goods. It's quite anarchic. It's in massive disrepair. It was basically a once prosperous settlement that was taken over by the Headhunters and is not being looked after very well. So that was some cool sort of little areas that they showed off for Pyro. Zin did then spot a couple of other things, and Zin and I will be watching Inside Star Citizen now and looking for hidden and secret stuff. We do know that there's going to be, sort of in a couple of weeks, they're going to talk about Xenothreat. That those factions do fight, and we're going to find out a bit more about them. There are other factions going on in Pyro. Zin did spot another location, Bueno Ravine. There looked like there was a mission to go and repair some bits there. Also, CIG briefly showed off some of the new multifunction displays, MFDs, and cockpit updates for a couple of ships. The Aurora, the Buccaneer, and kind of the Corsair. These are looking much more appropriate for their cockpits and much better than they previously have. Also, there was a sneaky Zeus Mark II in one of the scenes. But yeah, really excited for those new sort of gameplay areas and the fact that they are sort of more connected to factions and that sort of stuff. It just sort of makes sense. I would like to know who you're more interested in sort of pairing up with. For me, it's much more sort of Citizens for Prosperity at the moment. I like the look of their planets more, and Headhunters, not really my cup of tea for a faction. But yeah, tell us what you think about Alpha 4.0. When are you expecting it? It's supposed to turn up to live by the end of the year, hopefully before or at CitizenCon. There is just so much going on in this patch, and they keep on revealing more and more and more. Obviously, that huge amount of additional gameplay area and all the factions and all the different like mission types that are going to be part of that. Are you looking forward to jump points or pyro or engineering, the contested zones, sort of looter, extraction, shooter sort of stuff? Or are you very much going to be a player that stays in the Stanton system because you're not interested in Pyro? I'm really interested to know if there's people like, no, I like the fact that there's going to be this new star system and like PvPers and Outlaws stuff can go over there for the most part, but I like the security of Stanton. Or are you going to live in Pyro? Whatever your thoughts or questions, I would love to hear from you in the comments below. You stand at the pearly gates. The winged being there weighs your sins against the weight of a feather. You are found wanting. Not a problem for nordvpn.com/BoredGamer though. Just change your location. Boom! You're in. Bypass your sin. Get nordvpn.com/BoredGamer. Probably not a tagline that Nord wants, bypass your sin, but that's what they're getting. Maybe they want one about its added security, privacy, or accessibility. Pah! Everyone knows that. You get that at a touch of a button. Click these links below to get great deals on that VPN service. Every month we give away a ship, and this month of August is all about your favourite ships, because it's the ship showdown. My favourite ship is the Mercury Star Runner, and I don't want to give one of those away, but I will. It's a fantastic little multi-role, multi-crew ship. It's got a bit of cargo space, it's got room for a little vehicle, it's got a good amount of firepower, perfect little mission runner. In the future it's going to have data running, it's good for smuggling, it's got lots of secret little hidey holes. I absolutely love this ship. All you need to do to be in for a chance of winning that is comment on any of my videos made during August. Also, I would love to know what your favourite ship is. If you would like to further support the channel, consider just commenting or liking, subscribing. That all helps. But also there's the join button under my videos. That goes a huge way to allow us to make daily content on Star Citizen. There's also Patreon, sharing the videos, direct donations. There's links to all of that down below. Thank you so much for watching to the end. You take care and have a great day.